Hey everyone, welcome to Crystal's Literary Lounge. I'm Crystal, and today I'm going to be talking about all of the books I read in August for the Romance Readathon that I was happy to take part in. So, I actually was able to read 12 books during the readathon. I had so much fun interacting with people and doing the challenges that Maggie had set up for everybody and watching everyone's videos who actually hosted it. I wish I could have been a little more involved, talking to more people. I started off strong, but then life happened, things got crazy, kids got sick. So I was only really able to participate by reading and submitting points. But it was so much fun. I can't wait for next year's. And I think it's going to be in September next year. So super excited. But the books that I read, so some of these were on my TBR, but then halfway through I deviated from my TBR. So I ended up reading To Tame a Highland Warrior, Devil in Disguise, The Chief, The Duke and I, When He Was Wicked, Because of Miss Bridgerton, The Girl with the Make-Believe Husband, The Raider, These Hollow Vows, A Court of Thorns and Roses, These Twisted Bonds, and A King of Wrath. So, for the readathon, it was supposed to be, historical romance. And I started off reading historical romance. Mostly I read, of course, the Bridgerton books. I actually did some buddy reads with one of my sisters because she loves the Bridgerton novels as well. And so I thought, well, I hadn't really read any of the prequels other than the one, which was Because of Miss Bridgerton. So we ended up reading The Girl with the Make-Believe Husband, and then we read, the one that we read was First Comes Scandal. So I actually read 13 books altogether for the readathon. I read 13 books. I forgot one. First Comes Scandal. We read that one together. My sister and I did for a buddy read for the readathon. So First Comes Scandal. It was so good. 5 stars. It was so funny. I loved it. It was my favorite out of the prequels so far. I still haven't read one yet. It's I think book 3 that I'm missing. But I loved First Comes Scandal. It was hilarious. And then of course, The Girl with the Make-Believe Husband. That one was pretty good. I gave it about 3 stars. The other books that I read, it was funny because halfway through August, I had read so many of the historical romances, but that's not my preferred little genre. I prefer other books, and I just hit a wall, and I was like, I can't read any more historical romance novels. I just can't do it. So I decided I needed to change things up, and I ended up reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I'll actually do a whole separate video on that. I wasn't sure how I felt about it whenever I first started reading, and it was okay. It was good. It wasn't my favorite as far as talking about the Fae and that sort of idea, but I really like the concept, and I will eventually pick up book 2 and read it. What I really enjoyed though was by Lexi Ryan, her duology. It was These Hollow Vows and These Twisted Bonds. I really enjoyed that duology, and again, I'll include that whenever in a future video more in details about that, because I'm gonna talk about that and ACOTAR. So super enjoyed basically most of the books that I read. There was only one that I wasn't really a fan of, and I feel really bad because I know Crystal with Crystal's Bookish Life really likes this book, but I was so not a fan of Lisa Kleybass's The Devil in Disguise. it had like a good concept, and I liked the idea behind it, but it just, I could not get into the story. It didn't really feel like a love story. It was more like just, oh, they're in lust with each other and they're both available. And I don't know. I needed more like togetherness, more falling in love. I didn't really feel like the person who was supposed to be like the villain of the story, I didn't feel that they really did anything. I felt like that could have been completely left out, and the story would have been better if there had been more growth from the beginning and more of a love story told. So that just wasn't my favorite. But overall, I absolutely just loved the Romance Readathon. Can't wait for next year and seeing what happens next. So thank you all, and I'll see you in the next video.